Module Overview. While linear perspective organizes structure and geometry, atmospheric perspective manipulates light, color, value, and clarity to simulate distance, air, and mood. This module dives into the nuanced language of depth without lines, revealing how the atmosphere itself becomes an artist's tool to communicate vastness, mystery, space, and focus. Atmospheric or aerial perspective is a visual phenomenon rooted in how light interacts with particles in the air over distance. Objects closer to the viewer are sharper, darker, and more saturated, while distant elements become lighter, bluer, less saturated, and blurred. Unlike the rigid mathematics of linear perspective, this module teaches you how to blend artistic intuition with scientific understanding, resulting in visually compelling and believable compositions. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, you will grasp the scientific basis of atmospheric perspective, light scatter, humidity, dust, apply tonal shift, desaturation, and detail fade to simulate depth, differentiate between aerial, color, and value-based perspective, integrate atmospheric perspective with linear constructions for multidimensional scenes, manipulate edge sharpness, color temperature, and spatial contrast, analyze how different environmental conditions affect visibility and depth, utilize atmospheric cues to lead the viewer's eye and create narrative emphasis. Science behind atmospheric perspective. Rayleigh. Scattering. Shorter blue wavelengths scatter more, explaining why distant mountains or buildings appear blue or pale. Air particles. Dust, fog, mist, smoke, and pollution create light diffusion. Humidity. Higher humidity levels cause stronger atmospheric fade, useful in jungle, marshland, or dawn scenes. Key principles and techniques. A. Color desaturation. Foreground, rich, saturated tones. Midground, muted hues with reduced contrast. Background, pale, cool colors, usually blue or gray. B. Value contrast. Reduction. Objects in distance have less contrast. Light/dark extremes are reserved for the foreground. C. Edge softening. Use of blurred edges. Reduced detail for distant forms. Sharp details only for near subjects. D. Temperature shifts. Foreground. Warm colors dominate. Reds, yellows. Background. Cool colors dominate. Blues, violets. Environmental examples. Mountain ranges. Each range fades lighter and bluer in the background. Detail diminishes with each layer. Forest or jungle scenes. Use mist and filtered light for soft depth. Tree trunks in the distance appear hazy. Urban landscapes. Skyscrapers or buildings fade into smog. Atmospheric glow from street lamps and weather affects depth. Atmospheric perspective in art history. Leonardo da Vinci pioneered aerial perspective in the Mona Lisa and Virgin of the Rocks. J.M.W. Turner used fog and light diffusion for emotional effects. Impressionists captured transient atmospheric changes, e.g., Monet's haystacks. Chinese landscape painting emphasized negative space and mist to separate layers. Applications in modern art and media. Themes white. Animation and games. Backgrounds become lighter and less detailed to simulate parallax. Used to create a sense of scale in RPGs, platformers, and open-world games. Film concept. Art. Establishing shots use atmospheric fade to separate background from action. Photography. Long lens outdoor shots naturally show atmospheric fade. Infrared and drone shots often exaggerate or reduce aerial perspective. Digital tools and techniques. Photoshop, Gaussian blur, depth masks, gradient maps, Procreate and Krita, atmospheric brushes, opacity layering, and blend modes, 3D software, Z-depth passes, and fog volume shaders in Blender or Maya. Common mistakes to avoid. Using linear perspective alone without aerial cues results in flat drawings, overblurring backgrounds without a gradual transition, ignoring color temperature changes over depth, oversaturating distant elements, creating uniform detail throughout, no visual hierarchy. Practical exercises. Paint a mountain scene with 4 to 5 layers of recession. Recreate a city street at dawn using fog for background fade. Create a layered forest from front to back using 3 color palettes. Study screenshots from animated movies and identify depth planes. Redraw a landscape using atmospheric perspective only, no lines. Integration with other modules. Complements. Module 4, 3-point perspective for creating scale in height depth. Supports Module 6, compositional balance, by using contrast and fade as focus control. Prepares students for Module 8, narrative composition, with mood manipulation.